Hi, everybody. We are going to be diving into the C major position work and affirmations. And let's start right off the bat. In the midst of this coronavirus outbreak, one of the best things we can do is to feel safe and to feel sound. So the affirmation that we're going to be working with today for this fantastic C major grounding key is I am safe, I am sound. And safe and sound have significant meaning in the fact that as we produce sound, we are producing our own safety net. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that the feelings that we have, the experiences that we have, the consciousness that we have is expressed through sound. How many times have you heard somebody speak and you can just immediately tell what they're feeling, or their fear, or their anxiety, or their love, or their happiness? It's simply a matter of fact that our state of consciousness gets infused into the sound, and we can use this opportunity to create sound to further our own inner contentment, our own groundedness, our own centeredness, our own feeling of safety. So before we begin, just take a second and just play your open C string and make sure that you've tuned to A440 equal temperament. That's what we'll be using throughout these sessions. So just taking that open C string, we're going to start with 30 seconds of focus. And what this is watching the contact point, feeling for the energy, for the vibrations of the instrument, listening, of course, to that ongoing sound, and breathing, allowing your breath to relax, to deepen, and to allow yourself that feeling of security, that feeling that only the C string can give as you go. So allow that sound to help relax, and then allow your consciousness to then infuse that sound with even more security, even more feeling of safety. So here we go. The one more thing I love to say is, as your bow is going across the string, it's kind of like water flowing across the rocks in river. And the wonderful thing about watching that is that there's a sense of ongoing motion. And even though we're going back and forth over the same thing, allow your gaze with this to relax you just as the image of moving water does. So here we go, 30 seconds of focus, C string, relaxing, listening, watching, breathing. Allowing your breath to deepen. And then allow this to be your last breath. And check in for a second to see how just that one simple note has allowed you to relax, to center, to breathe, and just to be. When I do this with my class of 30 beginner cellists, they can feel something change in the room and change in themselves. So welcome to the position work. What we're going to be doing is going through the first four positions on all strings, and up to seventh position on the A string, using C major and all the notes in C major. So I created a book that is this thick and filled with stuff, but I realized it's a waste of paper that I can show you easily using two whiteboards. It's a really simple process that I find really, really helpful in using a drone and just using the 3 note positions. So what you see here on my right is the C major notes. We have all of the notes, starting notes, up into 3 note positions. So here is, sorry, I'm looking at the video. It's kind of confusing. So we have starting on C, starting on D, starting on E, starting on F, starting on G, A, and B, and that takes us back to C. We're going to be covering all of those different combinations there. And the stars there are going to be for the ringing anchor notes. These are notes that are going to tell you, yes, you're in the right spot. For C major, we have all of them except for F and B. But as we progress through these, we're going to get fewer and fewer. So what do I mean by that? So first of all, let's say we were going to find our C on the A string. One of the things that we can do is play your C and then find that C there. We could take it a step further. We could play the harmonic that's over the fourth finger on C string, and we can play that, which gives us that same note as well. And if you're slightly off, it allows you, again, to tune in and get that note there. So we'll be going over those. Here on, I did it again wrong, so please excuse me. So here we have the different positions. What we're going to be doing, the L stands for the low note, the blue stands for the blue, M stands for the middle note, and then the high note is going to be in red. So for instance, we're going to be going up here, do, re, do, and then for here, re, mi, re, C, D, C, D, C, D, E, D, E, D, and so on down this combination. This is the most universal way that I thought that I could create this. So next, we introduce the drones that we're going to be using. I love this album. This is the Cello Drones for Tuning and Improvisation, and it's available on Apple and iTunes. They also have them on YouTube, but I just like these because they're so much easier to deal with. So we're going to be dealing with a couple of drones today, but we're going to first start off with C major. I spoke to the woman who created this. As you can hear, it sounds like a cello, and indeed it is a cello. And I asked her, how did you cover all the bow changes? And she said, many, many hours in the editing room. So it's got a low C, a G, and then an upper octave C as we go. So I'm just going to set this here so we can continue to listen to that throughout. Okay. So what we're going to do is start on our lowest note. We're going to be starting on the C string, and we're going to be going like this. Now, open string to first finger is always going to be the most risky. As I'm just getting set up here, I need to remind myself just to calm down and come into this place. So we're going to be going C, D, C, D, C, and then this one, D, E, D, E, D, and then E, C, E, C, E, and so on and so forth. So it sounds like this. As we do this, you can do different bowings. You can do 2 notes to a bow and then a long one at the end. You can do 5 in a row slurring. You can do separate, whichever you like. I prefer at the tempo that we'll be doing it at, just a nice relaxed, if I can, putting all 5 of the notes in one bow. So here we go. Check your bow hold, making sure that you're relaxed thumb and your hand is relaxed. We'll start on the C string. Here we go. And then the next 4 of these, we're going to be starting on the middle note, middle, low, middle, high, middle, and so on for all those 4 there. Here we go. So the next thing we'll do is go up to the E, F, and G on that same C string. We'll be using the C drum to work our way up. The C is starting on C's, starting on E's. Here we go. E, F, E, F, E. be coming back to C and on the G string third position. So go and play your C string harmonic, and then here. And then you can also play your D and play your D here. So you'll be listening for both of those strings to resonate there. Here we go. And then take a second just to tune into the I am safe, I am sound. Allow your breath to relax. Okay. And then finding E, F, and G, D string first position. Go ahead and play your G string harmonic. And then fourth finger on G. And then hear this E. The wonderful thing about working with drones is that it gives us the choice of where to put this E. So in order to sound beautiful with that C O drone, we can scooch the E just slightly back, which is so wonderful when you have to do chords. It will sound better with that E slightly back this way. So that's what we're going to be training for here. E, F, and G. And then up to the A string. Oh, I need to restart. So that's the only problem about this, is that it will run out after 6 minutes. So we just restart that. Hello, there you are. So up to the A string, C, D, E. For vibrato, you can use it frequently, especially on the longer notes, as well as if you'd like to just keep the hand relaxed without vibrato, that's also an option as you go. Fourth position, E, F, and G. Go ahead and play your G string. Fourth finger on G. And then the E harmonic, which is underneath the first finger. Nice and solid. Here we go. And again, I am safe, I am sound. As we switch to the next drone, I wanted to just mention a story in my life that I did not feel safe and sound in music. And in fact, one of the greatest assets that you can bring to your practice is that feeling of safety, that you feel it is safe to create, it is safe to make mistakes, it is safe to be yourself as you go. So oftentimes we're so afraid of making mistakes that we just make ourselves more and more tense and beat ourselves up in that regard. So I want to encourage you to cultivate that feeling of safety. I remember at Eastman not feeling safe in the practice room. Nobody else was in there. It was just me, but I felt like people were judging me, listening to me, and I didn't feel like I could afford to make mistakes, which brought more tension to my playing, which just delayed my progress greatly. So cultivate that feeling of safety and then allow that to just live inside of you. One of my first experiences at college was setting principal, and the conductor had me demonstrate something, and then I was nervous, of course, and I didn't do as best as I could. And the conductor turned to me with a snarl and said, well, all right, well, next time play it in tune. And then went on to conduct it. I was just like, whoa! So it took me a long time to reclaim that feeling of safety as we go. But we all have our tests, and my feeling of safety is much more secure because of it. So we go on to D, and come on, behave. We're going to be doing the D, E, and F combination. So down here on the D string, go ahead and play your open D, and as you play this first one, you can see and listen to your strings respond there. Let's go. Here we go. To fourth position on the G string, play your open D, and then find the note. D harmonic, A string third position, I'm going to match that note, and then for third finger you can check the harmonic underneath, the E, here we go, and then we go up to the subdominant to the F. And the fun thing about this one is that as we do the, we're going to be using the Lydian mode on starting on the third note there. So here's the F. We go to C string, third position. So the F isn't going to give us much, but you can play your G string, and then second finger. You can also play A string, you get fourth finger, coming back, preparing that F. Ready? And then here's the Lydian mode. So you're going to hear the B against that F. can be really beautiful there. So again, play your A string, and then first finger on G. You can play your harmonic on the C string, and then C with fourth finger. Here we go. Now we come to second position D string, F, G, A. So go ahead and play your A, fourth finger, G, second finger on G. Ready. Notice that one has an extraordinary amount of stretch to it as we go. And then fourth position, A. And play your C string, the C. Ready. Fifth position, which is going to be a bit of a challenge. So here we're going to have fifth position F, G, and A. Find your A harmonic first, and then G string, second finger. An alternative way is to play fourth finger on the E if you like as well. Good luck. And let's go ahead up to seventh position, finding here, and then play your C string. And that's going to give us a C up there. And again, tuning into that I am safe, I am sound. And then finally the G combination. So come to fourth position, C string, and play your C, and then first finger, C string, fourth position. And then you can play your A string, and second finger stretch to A. position G string, B, C, and D. Going to play your D string, match that with 4. Your C string, match that with 2. B, C, D. Coming to D string, third position, G, A, B. Let's go ahead and find your A string first. And the second finger. And then open G. And first finger. Ready. And then first position, B, C, D, D string, C string, first finger. One of the most beautiful combinations with that, with the drum. And then finally, we'll do sixth position on the A string. We're going to play your G string and then G, and your A harmonic. Ready. I am safe. I am sound. Okay. Next, we're going to close this by reviewing all of the positions that we just covered. We're going to go from the C string bottom all the way back up. We'll just stop in, let's just stop the G, A, B up here. Feel free to incorporate these more on your own. We're going to be using, you can choose any pattern that you like, generally. But today, let's do this one here. So we're going to use each position, and we're going to go from the low note to middle note, high note, back to middle, back to low. And then for this one, let's just do slurring 2 notes to a bow. I'll demonstrate first. Like that as you go. So here we go, nice and slow. And one great thing, if you can, is to say the notes of the positions as you go. So C, D, E. D, E, F, G. And then you have to memorize where the positions are as far as when you stretch, when it's second finger, when it's third finger, A, B, C. CD with a stretch. D, F3. E, F, G. E with a stretch. To E F with 3. E F G. F G A with a stretch. G A B. Back on the F G A. E F G. Just tune into that low C string. Allow your breathing to relax, to deepen. I am safe. I am sound. I am sound. I am safe. And now try just with a simple C string to infuse your sound with that feeling of security. I'll invite you next to spend some time improvising in the key of C. So for instance, just taking whatever comes to mind. And you'll feel as you go which notes create more of that feeling that you're looking for as you go. That's a whole different topic, but I do invite you to start improvising, especially in the few minutes after going through these exercises. All right, tune in for tomorrow for a G major. Thank you so much.